Hello YouTubers, my name is Attila Mate from Blue Sky Photography, and today I would like to talk to you about sharpness and sharp lenses. Do we need sharpness in our photos, or do we need sharp lenses or not? Now this is a very controversial topic between photographers, and sometimes they argue and they don't agree with each other, and this is my opinion, and I think that it's really important, in many situations to have sharpness in our shots. Now let's talk a little bit about sharpness. First of all, why do we buy always new gear and new sensor and new lenses, and why do we do that? Because we want to gain much better image quality. We want to see our photos much more poppier, sharper. Well, sharpness is included in this, I tell you. And even though if some photographers, they will not agree and they will say, oh no, it's not important, sharpness, blah, blah, blah. It's not only about sharpness. Yeah, it's true. Not only about sharpness. Sharpness will not improve your artistic value of the photo, or will not improve your artistic capabilities. If you don't have, any idea, or if you are not that artistic type of person, a sharp lens or a sharp sensor, will not improve that. But in the same time, you can have very great and good artistic ideas, let's say, and you have a crappy sensor or a crappy lens, and that will destroy it because the image quality will be not as good. Like I said, it will not improve the artistic value, but the image quality is depending on sharpness a lot. Obviously, the image quality is not depending only on sharpness. It's depending also on chromatic aberration and all that, distortion and all that, but sharpness is one of the major components. Now, sharp lenses or sharp sensors. Obviously, the sharpness of the photo is the result of the lens and the sensor. Now, if the sensor is great, the example, these new sensors, they don't have anti-aliasing filter. And they do that to increase the sharpness of the photo. That's great. But if you have a bad lens, a not as sharp lens, an older lens, and you put it in the front of the sensor, you will cripple the sensor in such a way that the photos will not be as sharp. Now, when I did lens reviews, and then especially when I did the Sigma lens reviews, the art lens reviews, and I compared the Sigma lenses with Nikon lenses most of the time, many people will comment and say, well, yeah, sharpness is not everything. It's not only about that, it's about chromatic aberration, it's about blah, blah, blah. It's true. But in post-processing, to remove chromatic aberration is one click, or to remove the distortion is one click. But to add sharpness, you can add sharpness in post-processing. It's true. Every photo editing software will have the possibility to add sharpness to your photos, but it will be the same. No, it will not be the same. You can try yourself, you can try at home, make a photo which is not really sharp, and then add sharpness in post-processing. Now, I don't say if you add 5-6% of sharpness, or up to 10%, let's say, that's a lot, 10%. Then it's okay. But if you want to add a lot of sharpness in your photos, that photo will not be the same like you have a sharp photo from the camera, sharp as tack. Now, I did this test many times. I'm not talking about ideas or opinions. This is fact. I tested. And if you do it, you will see that I'm right. So you can add sharpness anytime in post-processing, but it will not be the same. It's very, very important to get a lens which is sharp enough, even if it's the chromatic aberration, it's not as good as the other lens, or even if it does have some distortion, I still would get, the lens which is sharper, because I can fix the other ones. But I like to get the sharpness from the camera. Now, in many cases, sharpness is not really good, and that is portrait photography. If you are a portrait photographer, you don't really want very sharp photos, unless if you want to emphasize the drama. Sometimes you see these photos with very, very old people with a lot of wrinkles in the face and on the body or on the hand, Now, you need very much sharpness and micro contrast in those photos. But if you want a portrait, let's say a woman, you make a portrait you make a portrait of a woman, like 40 years old woman, and she starts to have some wrinkles. But usually women are very, very sensitive on the wrinkles and on the age. So what they will say, oh, I don't want those wrinkles to be seen in the portrait. Now, if you have a tech sharp lens, those wrinkles will be much more emphasized on the photo. And if you have a lens with a lot of micro contrast, again, those wrinkles will be much more emphasized on the photo. And what you can do over there, you have to reduce the sharpness and you have to reduce the micro contrast. Now, not many photo editing softwares will have the possibility to adjust the micro contrast, but you can adjust the clarity, which is kind of the same like micro contrast. Not exactly the same, but it's kind of the same. So if you have a software which doesn't have access to micro contrast, you have to reduce the clarity. So when I edit my portraits, most of the time I have to reduce sharpness because I have very sharp lenses, but reducing sharpness is really easy. Adding sharpness is not as easy. So this is my opinion, like I said. And if you have a different opinion or if you have a different experience, please feel free and leave a comment down below. If you have a way how you can add sharpness to your photos and it doesn't really affect your photo, please let me know. I would like to know that that photo editing software, you know. I use Photoshop, Lightroom, Zoner Photo Studio, DX or Photolab, and these softwares, you know, when they add sharpness, like I said, 5–6% is okay. But when you add a lot of sharpness to your photos, it will be different. It's not the same. It's not as good as original sharpness in the camera. So if you want to add something to this video, please feel free and leave a comment down below. Even if you don't agree with me, that's not an issue. I'm a human being. I can make differences. Sorry, not differences, mistakes. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and share my videos, and please hit the little bell button near the subscribe button to get notified when I upload another video. And other than that, I wish you a great week and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.